Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great weekend. You might hear a difference in the sound a little bit. You might also see a difference in the wall there, right? It's white instead of the usual black there. That is because I've decided to kind of start doing some, renovating the basement here. So it's gonna be an ongoing process. It's gonna take me, I'm guessing, probably somewhere between 4 to 6 months before it's all said and done. So you probably will start seeing 4x4 or 2x4s popping up on that wall, eventually on the back wall as well. And the sound's gonna be kind of weird here. So hopefully you guys will bear with me while I go through this process and do this. I'm going to try and do as much as I can on my own here. The only thing I'll do is probably hire somebody for electrical and maybe plumbing if I'm going to do that. So it's going to be a work in progress. So bear with me. Like I said, it's going to be a fun experience, but it's also going to be kind of a pain in the butt. Nonetheless, miners. We'll take a look at how the miners are priced right now. Are they undervalued or overvalued currently based on the numbers that we have for them? We'll also take a look at how Bitcoin has done over the weekend here, how the miners did last week against Bitcoin. And then that's basically it. We'll call it a day. All right. So as always, you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice for only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's take a look at Bitcoin here over the weekend here. Bitcoin's been, it is what it is. Not much to brag about right now in Bitcoin, at least. So Bitcoin was up a little bit on Saturday. We weren't up that much. We were up just a little bit. We were up 0.05%. Sunday, we were down 0.41%. And then today, on the new day for Monday, we are down 0.72%. Miners also, we talked about this. Actually, I didn't do a stream on Friday, so the miners were actually, for the most part, red. We did have a couple miners that were in the green. We had CIFR, Cleanspark being in the green there. IREN also being up nicely on Friday. And then everybody else was in the red here. So a lot of profit taking happened here on Friday, I believe. We also had some options expirations as well happening, so I think that was part of it there. Miners here for the new day, pre-hours here, are trading up, somewhere down. BitDeer is up a little bit, 0.3% on BitDeer. Bitfarms is up 1.282. It's down, I think it was like 4% earlier on. CIFR is up 2.44%. Cleanspark is down just a little bit, 0.81%. CORZ Scientific is up 0.3%. Hive is down just a little bit, 0.01%. Hut 8 is up 0.11%. IREN is up another 1.68%. Mara is down 0.49%. And then, what the heck happened there? Hold on, bear with me. See if this still works. Hopefully this still works and the stream's still going. Riot is down 0.69% there. And TerraWolf is down 1.46%. Okay, so that's kind of where we are right now. Bitcoin being down as well doesn't help much right now as it is. We'll see how we actually do on Monday when we actually go into the markets. The markets start trading. We'll see how that all progresses throughout the day. We're kind of bouncing off the 50 SMA here, line right here, which is this one. We've bounced off of it before. We came up here, obviously, in the middle of the last week, and we've been coming down ever since then. So I think we're going to probably bounce off of this as well and then continue up going forward, but we'll see. All right, Bitcoin here so far right now. Let's take a look at that one here. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is up 6.5% so far for September. Not that great, but not that bad. It's actually pretty good. We'll take it overall. Bitcoin ETF inflows here. We saw on Friday, BlackRock buying 246 million roughly. So that gave us another positive day there. So we've had now 2 days of positive inflows on Thursday and on Friday as well. We'll see how this week lasts. We did have one day of outflows, which was on Wednesday, with 51 million there happening at that point. So we're still all right in the long run there. So that's all I got for Bitcoin miners here right now. Let's take a look at the miners here versus Bitcoin for the past week. And we'll always take a look at, obviously, how far the miners are up from their 52-week lows and how far away they are from the 52-week highs here. And we can still see that IREN is still kicking butt, up 654%, CIFR up 560%. And then we got Hive actually surprising us all here, having a nice bounce here in the recent days, weeks. It's up 200.8%, slightly beating out Kango with 200.7%. Riot being up 182%, Core 168%, BitDeer 148%, Strategy up 137%, and Cleanspark's up 111%. It has now flipped Bitcoin here to the upside. It's outperforming it. And Bitcoin's up 96% here in the last 52 weeks from the bottom there. And Marathon is up 86%. So Marathon is a laggard there, underperforming here. And we can see here that IREN obviously is only 3.1% away from the new all-time high, former 52-week high. CIFR, same thing, only 4.2%. Riot, 4.3%. Bitcoin's only 7% away right now. We got, let me see, Marathon still has 39% to go to get back to where it was in this last 52 weeks. Cleanspark 24%, Strategy 36%, BitDeer 39%, and Kango 53%, and Hive 31%. So a lot of these guys still have a little bit more room to run before they start reaching your 52-week highs here on the list. Looking at last week, how the miners do against Bitcoin, and as I always track it Friday to Friday here. On these guys, Cleanspark is outperforming here last week. It did 32%, so beat out everybody. IREN was up nicely also, 14%, along with CIFR, 13%. Marathon even had a pretty good week, being up 12%. Riot up 10%. Core up 5%. Strategy up only 4%. BitDeer up 2%. Bitcoin was down a little bit, more or less flat. Hive was down 1%, and Kango was down 0.3% on that one. Looking at the 4 weeks, we can see Bitcoin's up 7% there. Only one that has underperformed here has been Kango, and actually Strategy being down 3%. CIFR's up huge, 61%. Cleanspark's 44%. IREN 46%. Riot even up 27%. Hive up 28% at that point. Looking at the 8 weeks time difference, we can see Bitcoin's up only 2% here. And the only one that has underperformed here is Strategy being down 6%. While we have IREN and CIFR pretty close to each other, 151 and 149% there. Cleanspark's up 30%, Riot's up 58%, Hive is up 87% from that time frame as well. BitDeer up 36%, Core 31%, and looking at the 12 weeks time frame, Bitcoin's up 7% here. And we can see that right now, what do we have? Kango underperforming, Strategy as well, Core, and possibly as well Marathon, only being up 4% there. Everybody else has kind of outperformed in the last 12 weeks. Best gainers, IREN and CIFR, followed by Hive, then Riot, BitDeer, looks like, and then Cleanspark as well at that point. So it's nice to see that the miners are outperforming. A lot of that is based on HPC potential with those guys, which we know is the leading cause of a lot of the price appreciation that we're seeing here. And we still have, obviously, a lot of these guys that don't have meaningful or any deals to begin with anybody for their sites available here. So that's kind of what we're all waiting with bated breath here, is to see which one's going to get the deal first. I think it's a close race, I think, right now with CIFR and IREN. We'll see. Other ones are also trying to get into that space as well. Cleanspark's been lately coming into it as well, so we'll see how that all goes going forward here. But that's basically it. As we can see here on the table, we can see we've been having a little bit more luck with the green days, or green miners here, which is nice to see as well. And then what else do we have here? I mean, yeah, it's getting a little bit more green here recently. So hopefully this continues going forward. And then this week, next week as well, while we close out September and then go into fourth quarter starting in October here. So maybe we'll get that nice parabolic rise in Bitcoin in the fourth quarter here. Right now, Bitcoin it's kind of lackluster, more or less. I mean, if we look at Bitcoin here, let's go back to, and I didn't provide you guys with, why didn't this show up? Let's see here. Oh, no, you guys are seeing it. Okay, my thing is stuck. My view is stuck, that's why. Okay, but you guys are able to see it. Let me see if I can fix that really quick for myself. Output, let me see here. Video, let's do this off. Output video to the monitor. Okay, now I should be able to see what you guys are seeing as well. Okay, that fixes it. That at least leaves some confusion off the table. But let's go back to where do I want to go? Bitcoin. That's where I wanted to go. If we look at Bitcoin here over the monthly time frame here, over the last 3 quarters, I mean, Bitcoin's actually, I mean, see here, this was July. June was the end, right? So that's kind of where we ended up here. So Bitcoin's still up approximately, what is it up? Roughly for the quarter, 5-something%. It's not a huge gain over the quarter here. It's been pretty flat, more or less. And if we look at, I think we can probably see it on this table here as well. Bitcoin for the quarter here right now, Q3, yeah, it's 7.67% up right now. So it's not that great, actually. So we really need Bitcoin to really pump here in the fourth quarter. And if we look at the fourth quarter results here in the past, we've had actually really, really good results. So we'll see if this plays out that way. Right here in the Q3, it's always been kind of lackluster, except for maybe 1 or 2 years where we've had in 2017, we were up 80%, and 2013, we were up 40%. Other than that, we've been up only 25%, 1%, 3.6%, and that's it. So Q4 should be a good month for, or a good quarter for us going forward as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and then hopefully we can at least still squeak out a positive Q3 here. Not only for the miners, the ones that have a hodl position, the FASB will help those guys out, right? But at least they're not going to be taking a loss on Bitcoin that they hodl right now. So hoping for that to stay true here. All right, there's that. Let's take a look at the miners here as far as, are they still undervalued or overvalued. This is based on numbers that we do have here. This is based on the results from their August updates, right? So we're kind of looking forward into that as well. We can see here that first we're going to go kind of in alphabetical order with these guys here. BitDeer right now is at $16.45. That's based on Friday's results for them for the close. If we take that revenue times 12 months along with anything else that they might be doing, which I'm not including here, I'm just including Bitcoin mining for themselves, I still have them between 1974 and 2960 here. They're at 1645. In my opinion, they are obviously undervalued there. So they should be at least another 50% more high from where they are right now. And that's not including any HPCI potential that they have there in the Ohio facility or anything like that. Right, that's not taking into account that. This is just on the Bitcoin mining. The Bitcoin mining has been getting much better here. Their hash rate has been growing. They're generating more revenue, which is nice. But you add on top of that any HPCI potential that they might have in, obviously, Ohio sites or other sites. The stock should be definitely higher from where it is right now. Next year, we're going to take a look at Kango. Kango, as you guys know, is asset light. So I do have them pretty low on the PE portion of it, multiple. And even at that, with a very reduced PE multiple for them, about half of what I'm giving the other guys here, they are still at $4.45. And I have them between 621 and 1034. So they still should be up about 50% from where they are right now. So that one is also undervalued right now. Next here, let's take a look at CIFR. CIFR currently is trading at $12.28 with the amount of revenue that they're getting from Bitcoin mining. Looking forward from August numbers to the next 12 months here, if they just generate that same amount, they should be somewhere between 576 and 863. They're definitely above that right now. I think a lot of that is because of their HPCI sites, right, that they have. A lot of talk on X about them getting a deal here. So I think this one is looking like it's probably pretty close to being fairly valued based on that alone. I mean, it's already over, almost $4 higher than where I have them right now. And even higher where the analysts have them. The analysts have them at $9 on the high end to the $6 on the low end, right? And this was just updated at the beginning of this month here. So it's definitely blown past it. And I think it is because of the HPCI potential there. So if they don't get a deal or something like that, we might have a little bit of correction here on this one. But this one has done fantastically well for us here if you got into it at much lower prices, right? But it could still run more from here if they get an HPCI deal that's substantive and, a good deal. But we shall see on that one. So this one, I'm kind of on the fence on as far as whether being overvalued or undervalued. I think it's kind of fairly valued more or less right now as it is. Next here, let's take a look at Cleanspark here really quick. Cleanspark's currently trading at $13.62. I have them between $24.20 and $36.31. So they should be at least almost 100% higher from where they are right now, just on Bitcoin mining operations themselves, right? Being a 50 exahash, generating approximately $907 million in revenue. Annual run rate for them right now from August operations for them. Yeah, they're still way undervalued in my opinion from where they should be. So they are still on the undervalued side of things. And if they can turn any other sites also to HPCI, that should even boost them up even higher. So then we're looking possibly even higher than where they are right now. The analysts have between $26 and on the high side, on the low side, $15 there. So it's kind of, I'm a little bit higher than them. But yeah, not by much. So I still think there's a lot more room for this one to go up. Even with the high side of analysts, they should be up higher. Low side, same thing. Okay. Next here, we're going to take a look at Core. Core we know should be probably around $20 a share, somewhere around there, based on the valuation that they got when they got, when the deal came in for them being purchased out by CoreWeave. So they're at $16.62. They're still a little bit undervalued from where they should be here, about $3 or so on that one. Hive here, if we take a look at Hive really quick as well, we can see that Hive is at $3.79. I have them between $8.82 and $13.22, and that's with a decreased PE multiple of 10 on those guys. And the only reason for that is because they don't have any operations in the United States. I don't know if that's going to be a detriment to them, or at least the stock price. I'm sure they're going to do fine without it, but is it a detriment to the stock price? I don't know. But they're also doing it really well here. Operationally, they're doing fantastically. They're growing their hash rate. They're doing all the right things here. Like I said, just they don't have any operations in the United States. That's the only thing that I can ding them on, really. And then the analysts have them even between $11 and $5, so they're still way undervalued from where they really should be here. Okay. Next, let's take a look at IREN here. IREN, I have them at 38.64 right now. This is based on the August numbers, obviously, for them. Or they're at 38.64. I have them between 25.43 and 38.15. So they are pretty well valued right now based on that. But it's also, they're being valued more so on their HPCI potential here, right? And that includes partially of that. It includes the last quarterly results revenue for HPCI revenue divided by 3 months and then multiplying that times 12 months along with the Bitcoin revenue from August as well times 12 months. So that's kind of where I have them at 922 million right now annual run rate for them. And then if we use like what they've guided for in their quarterly results, that once all of the GPUs are installed, the 10,000 plus GPUs, the annual run rate for that business is going to be between 200 million and 250 million a year, right? So if we use that for them now, because we kind of know what guidance there is, I still have them between 32, 31, and 48, 47. So that would still be, undervalued based on that alone. Now, if they get a deal with somebody for enterprise customer or hyperscaler or something like that for their site or one of their sites, Sweetwater, maybe two of those sites, whatever, you could definitely go up much higher from that as well. Next here we got Mara really quick. Mara right now, let me zoom this in for you guys as well. There we go. They're at 1829. I have them between 1945 and 2918. So they're getting close. They're still slightly undervalued from where they really should be. Based on the numbers that they provided, obviously, for revenue in August here, times 12 months, they're at about 960 million run rate right now a year. So they're still slightly undervalued as it is, but not much. Riot is next here. Riot is 1746 right now. Based on my numbers, I'm between $13.36 and $20.04. So they're kind of fairly valued right now as it is. The only thing I would say is if they get an HPCI deal, because they're trying to get that as well, that could definitely pump the stock up even higher from here where we are right now. Okay, so there's still potential for a lot of these guys, depending on the deals that they get, or even if one of them gets a deal, it could reprice the other ones as well, even further than what we have already seen in the space already. And then lastly, we have here, obviously, Bitfarms has been running quite nicely here. Bitfarms right now is $3.12. I have them between $3.10 to $4.64, right? And yeah, so I still think that they are like on the low end, fairly valued, but I think they still should be valued at least higher from where they are, probably around $4 to $4.50, something like that. And then if they get a deal for HPCI as well, that should definitely pump them up even higher from that point as well. And that is based on, the current quarter that we're looking at for the revenue side of things. So I would say, still undervalued, still could go higher. They get a deal or something like that, they could definitely go up higher from that point as well. So Ryan, I see your question up there. What about Bitfarms? Yeah, here's Bitfarms right now. I still think that they are slightly undervalued from where they really should be going forward here. We know that they're not looking to have any huge expenses going forward here, right? Until they start building on possibly the HPCI data centers, whatever that might be. But until then, they should have enough capital from not only their Bitcoin mining operations, but also we might have Riot out of there also, with Riot being completely sold out of the Bitfarms shares there potentially. Going back about 4 weeks now, 5 weeks or so, Riot reported at that point that they were at 4.6% of the shares owned by the company. I think they're probably done right now because of the way the stock has acted and the way it has gone up here. So I think there's still more upside for this one and for a lot of these other guys here too. Bitcoin goes up in value, right? They get a deal or one of them gets a deal, it gets repriced. All of this stuff is going to be good for these miners here, which is great. So we're in it. I mean, obviously all of us are probably doing pretty well here unless you actually bought at a much higher price on some of these guys, which at that point you just got to be patient and they will get back to that and then some, I think, still. But, people are calling for IREN to get to like $160, $200. I would love it. I mean, I think Eric Jackson also posted today that IREN did like $900. I'm like, geez, if it goes to $900, it's going to be several $1 million in profits for me at that point. But will I hold it till then? Probably not, right? We're probably looking at a couple years down the road here. Maybe I'll hold a little bit, but yeah, that's too far out to know what's going to happen there. And he said CIFR like through $300. That would be freaking fantastic. I'm sure all of you guys would be happy with that kind of news there. All right, but that's all I got for you guys. That is it. Spreadsheets, as always, are available to my Patreon members. Link for that is down in the description, as always. A couple bucks a month, and you get access to all this stuff, plus our private Discord server as well. All right, there's my sales pitch. Let's get into Q&A here. We'll call it a day. we're actually doing pretty good. We're only 20 minutes into it so far, so we're doing good. Let's see what you guys have to say. As always, if you guys preface the questions with the question mark or Q, I'd appreciate it. And let's see what we got here. There's not much going on here right now. As far as questions, let's see. Ryan has celebrated actually 30 months of membership. So thank you for that, Ryan. Sadie, how you doing? Thank you so much for the thumbs up and the likes. Ratchet, hello everyone. Hello. Ratchet says Bitcoin going down. Yeah, it is going up a little bit. Bitchin82 says, what's up? Well, not Bitcoin right now. At least the miners are still doing pretty good here, so we'll see how they do going forward. Ratchet, what's going to Cleanspark? What's going to Cleanspark do this week? I think it might go up a little bit more. I think it's still way undervalued from where it is. And I think it's getting repriced as well as the talks from the CEO and others in the company are, starting to go towards HPCI as well. So I think there's a lot more potential there also. Fairfax says, hang in until October. Yeah, possibly even longer than that, I would say. Brad's got a question here. When do you think Cleanspark will announce some type for plan for their HPCI pivot? They've been talking about it already, right? We don't know what the plan is going to be. I keep saying here, I'd love to at least see a breakdown of all their sites and which sites do they think they have potential to use for HPCI. I think that'd be a good start there. People could figure out how many megawatts that would be at that point. How many megawatts could that be? And then we could go from there. And then what is their path going forward? Are they still obviously looking to get more megawatts and all that stuff? So we need more details from them for sure. Ryan says, Ratchet, you are right, but not until 2026 sometime. Okay, so we still have another year to go. Let's see, more Tim. Last rate cut in September 2024. Several weeks went by before BTC ran. This time there's a lot of concern over labor being too weak with risk of recession. We've had obviously concerns of risk of recession for the last 3 years. I remember people talking about, well, we're going to have a recession in last year, in 2024. We're going to have a recession in 2023 or in 2025. Hasn't played out that way yet. So, I mean, could we get a quarter or two of negative GDP growth? Yeah, that's kind of the technical term for a recession there. Could we have that? Sure. But as long as it's not longer than that, I think we'll be okay. Ryan, we covered yours about Bitfarms. Let's see. Ryan says, been buying shares, was really bullish. Ben buying shares. So Ben's buying shares. Yeah, Ben at Bitfarms there has been buying shares, which is great to see. Raymond says, Mar is managed by lizards. Ryan's got a question here. What is the highest price of Bitfarms you think is possible in the most bullish scenario? I would say somewhere between probably $10 to $20 is where I would think, right? That would give them roughly a market cap between $5 and $10 billion at that point. I think that would be, I could even go higher than that, but I think in the short term, like the next year to two, I think that would be pretty good if they can get there. They're at 1.7 billion right now, I think, as it is. So that would still represent very nice gains on it at this rate. All right. SX says, thank you for all your work and time you put in for us. Do you own any Hive? I'm still down on Hive since I bought it years ago. Okay. So I got into Hive. I don't own any Hive right now. I sold it, was it back last year or the year before? Can't remember now. But I sold it. I bought into it in 2017, 2018. Went down in obviously 2018 as well. So I dollar cost averaged into it. Held on to it through 2021. Thinking Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000, right? Never did. And then continued to fall down, continued to fall down. And then eventually I sold it. I think it was 2023 that I sold it at a slight profit. Not a huge profit, but a slight profit at that point. I love what the company's doing right now as far as growth. Not only with their exahash, but also getting into the HPCI business. And yeah, we'll see how they do going forward. But the stock has obviously done pretty well here recently. So congrats to those guys there. All right, SK's got a question. Can IREN pull back to $30? There's always a possibility that something is going to pull back here. Right now, the momentum is to the upside here, it seems like. I mean, we can see it here on the chart at least. This is the weekly chart on IREN here. This thing, monthly chart. This thing has had a humongous run here. It is a little overextended here on the RSI, right? On the monthly. On the weekly, it's still... yeah, I would say kind of overextended on the RSI as well, 86 right now. On the daily has been kind of bouncing right around the 77, 78 mark, 80 mark on it. And even at times when it does dip below 70 here, it goes back up and we continue to go up higher. So we could still, for a little while longer, go higher here. But we could definitely come back down here. I think there is let's see, there's a gap on it at 24. I don't think we're going to be coming back down that low, but you never know. $30. Let's see if we have any. See if we got a lot of support there at $30. $30. We do have some resistance here. We don't have obviously much data here, being in the 30s right now. So it's hard to tell whether or not we're going to have any support or resistance in this area until we actually go through it here. So we'll see. IREN right now in the after hours. Let's see what's it doing in the after hours. I mean, it's still up almost 2% here on the after hours right now. So that's looking pretty good after being up 6.39 here last week. So it could still continue to go up here. Obviously, we had a new all-time high here on, let's see, when was this 4-hour chart, the daily chart, on Friday. All right, we came back down from that point. So we're heading back up on it as well. So we'll see. Never say never, but it could come down, right? It's had a huge run up here. We might need a little bit of break. Good. If it happens, that might be a good time to buy in. All right, let's go back here to Q&A. Talked about that one already. Okay. Raymond, what do you think of Galaxy? They have given a lot of the upside to CoreWeave. Can they be trusted? What do you mean by giving up a lot of upside to CoreWeave? Can they be trusted? Well, Galaxy has the Helios facility there. That thing is being obviously built out for CoreWeave. Yeah, I don't know. I think CoreWeave is in a bind right now. They're trying to buy up data centers, at least Core Scientific. They're trying to buy them up. But they're probably trying to buy up other sites as well, because being asset light is not always the greatest thing in the world. So they need to have control over their assets as well, I think. And so could they try and go after Helios? Could they also try going after Applied Digital as well? They possibly could. Right now, the stock being down a little bit, though, it makes it a little bit tough for them to do it. But I think in time, they may try to buy some of these guys out here. I don't know if they're going to be successful, but they're definitely going to try, I think. All right. For Jarius, question is, CIFR a buy right now? Buy the dips if you do see them on that one. A lot of people are thinking that they will be like one of the first ones to get possibly a deal with hyperscaler. So we'll see. Oracle could be one of them. We'll see. Gary, when Cleanspark will announce plans to hit 60 exahash, once they achieve this, they can start to look at HPCI like IREN did after they hit the 50 exahash goal and pivoted. That's true. They could definitely do that. Yeah. I mean, they're got a couple more months left to build that out, right? It's basically 3.33 exahash a month that they would need to install here in the last couple months in order to reach the 60 exahash. That's definitely doable for them. And then after that, they can go for it. They can do both though, right? Doesn't mean that you can't do both at the same time here, but we'll see what they provide us with. All right. D-Royce, the recession of 1981, 1982 was one of the best times for regular workers in the United States. If you have a grunt job, the recession is for you. It could be. I'm not sure that. I don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, I think right now with HPC AI or AI itself, I mean, that's going to be going probably after a lot of these blue collar jobs potentially here. So yeah, if you're a grunt, a laborer, you should be, I think, okay for the most part. All right. See, D-Roy says Cleanspark is behind merger. Why would they merge? I'm not sure. I mean, there's possibility of that, but I don't think so right now. Gary, which miners hit 52 weeks high last week? It was IREN and CIFR, I think, are the ones that hit 52-week highs here. All right, Raymond. CIFR was raving about its team. Clearly, the team will determine winners. IREN is the best management and price, and Prince George is the R&D for GPU. Which management do you trust? I am for Roberts. I am for the Roberts and Sam. So Roberts, so obviously IREN, and Sam is Bit Digital, I think you're talking about there. Yeah, I think CIFR, obviously. IREN, I trust as well. Cleanspark, I trust as well. Right, they've pretty much laid out what they're going to do, and they've pretty much done it since becoming a Bitcoin miner in 2011. Or not 2011, 2021. Who else do I trust? Ben with Bitfarms as well. I think he is proving himself to be really good here. A lot of people were hating on him earlier, a couple months back, even going back to probably late last year, even I would say. Right, people didn't think things were going right, but in the long run, I think he's going to prove us right that he was the right place to put, or the right person to put in that position there. All right, Brent, hey Seb, if you were to buy one or two of the miners, what would you buy right now? I would still probably buy IREN. I'd still probably buy CIFR. I would buy Cleanspark and probably more Bitfarms. Those are the ones I would buy. You can still buy, I think, Riot, right? Obviously has potential with HPCI as well. BitDeer as well. I mean, pretty much any of these guys here. If Bitcoin runs and we get HPCI deals from these into these companies, they're all going to run like crazy here. Let's see. Safrel asks, any other Hivers here? People that own Hive, I believe is what you're asking there. There's quite a few people that own Hive. Let's see. Karan asks, how high Bitfarms Hive Hut 8 Galaxy can do in 2025 despite that? I don't know. I mean, they get a deal much higher, right? Can it be still getting repriced here? Yes. Bitfarms can obviously go a little bit higher. Hive, same thing. Hut 8, I think is kind of well priced as it is. Galaxy, not sure on that one though. All right, SX, do you think we will have a crypto winter again like in the past, or maybe far less pullback? When do you see a winter happening? I do not see a winter happening this time around. I think we've talked about this in the past, right? People have said it's, super cycle in 2021, super cycle in 2017, but then we still ended up crashing 70 to 80% on Bitcoin miners, 90, 95%, right? I don't think that we're going to have a similar cycles like in the past. I mean, we're seeing it already play out completely different already this time around with the adoption, the ETFs, the strategy companies, the Metro Planets, everybody else is buying up Bitcoin for their treasuries. There's more clarity in the space as well from regulatory frameworks. So that's helping things out. There's talk of an SBR for the government. We'll probably get a pullback a little bit like we saw here just in the last year and a half. We saw 2 pullbacks of 30% on Bitcoin. It was like 30, 34%, something like that on one of them. And then we went back up here. So I think we might see something like that where we go down 20, 30%, but that's going to be pretty much it. And then we're going to continue to go up here. There's just too much institutions in this right now that are, controlling it more or less. So I don't see that happening. And I think this is going to be an extended cycle where we're continuing going into 2026, possibly 27 as well, 28, and then beyond. But it's going to be, Bitcoin's going to be up on a quarter, 7, 8%, 10%, whatever it is. We're not going to see those 60, 80% gains in a quarter probably for a long time, if ever again, because that would be a huge amount of influence in that point, right? You get 50% right now, you're going from 150,000 in a quarter. I mean, that still could be doable. But seeing like 100% gains in a quarter, something like that, we can probably rule that out. Okay. That was it. All right. AJS, CIFR and IREN, any news? Not that I have heard on them. Safrel, it's probably unlikely to see BTC at 150,000 by December, maybe if we see more political instability. I think 150,000 is doable. Q4 is usually a much better period for us in Bitcoin, historically at least. So I think we will at least hit 150,000 by the end of the year here. If we go above that, even closer to 200,000 would be great. But again, we might not see 200,000 until like Q1 or Q2 of 2026, possibly. All right. Mara says, you seem not to agree with me that Mara is run by lizards. I mean, would I wish that they would do things differently? Sure. But I don't think name calling does anything, to be honest with you, right? I think we can have a debate on the way that they have operated the company. And I would agree with you there that I think maybe they haven't done the right things. And the stock hasn't obviously done well here for investors. Nowhere near the $70 was back in 2021. All right, Roger. October on its way, but keep in mind 1 year ago Cleanspark was $18. Yes, keep in mind Cleanspark was a darling last year, right? For these, it went to $24 before everybody else. Everybody was jumping on Cleansparks and then complaining about CIFRs not doing anything. The management needs to change there, and IREN and all that stuff, right? Bitfarms, everybody was getting pooped on except for Cleanspark. So things change. I know things do change. All right. Gary asks, will Cleanspark break 2024 high in 2025 with 3 months 3 months to go left roughly? They would have to get to what, $24 something? I think they got to in 2024. Could they do it if they announced something for HPCI that the market gloves, then yeah, they could possibly do it. Without that, I don't know if they can do it. They might still be getting repriced here. We'll see where they go, but I still think that they're undervalued from where they really should be. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong at. Let me see if we have anything else. It doesn't look like we have anything else. Everybody's questions have been answered. That's good. So we'll see what happens later on this week. It's a brand new week, fresh week. We'll keep an eye on things, obviously, what happens there. We'll talk about it when it does happen. We'll cover it all. We'll get into maybe some other metrics, and we'll try and plug in some other things. Oh, I did add another, where did I put it? Just forgot to mention it. For the Google Map thing that I have for you guys on the Patreon side of things. And my thing is stuck again here. Let me see. We can see here that I added CIFR. I added 2 other sites to CIFR here. Barber Lake, which I forgot to add, which was one of my Patreon members pointed this out to me. So thank you for that. Right, when I put this out, I told you guys, take a look at this, see if I have all the sites on these guys. And sure enough, CIFR Lake is one of the sites that I was missing here. That one is 300 megawatts, possible expansion to 800 megawatts on that one. And then I can't pronounce this stupid city name. Revile, I don't know, 70 megawatts, possible expansion to 200 megawatts. So that's another possible 1 gigawatt of sites that they have with those 2 additionally there. So definitely a lot more sites there for them. And we have everybody else here like CORZ, Hive, obviously, Riot, Hut 8, other facilities. We have Galaxy, Applied Digital, and Nebius as well in here. So we're going to keep updating this as time progresses, maybe add some other things as well as time allows. All right, but that is it. I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. Hopefully it's going to be another green week for us all, and we're becoming millionaires here by the end of the year here. That way you guys can have a nice celebration at the end of the year. Right, so I greatly appreciate you guys coming in as always. Love you all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.